What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Lambo Plays Podcast, episode 41, first episode of 2023. And I'm joined by my co-host, as usual, Timothy Troiano. What is up, Timothy? How you doing? Are you ready for fucking 2023, brother?
What's going on, Narcocop? I am doing great. I'm excited for 2023 and somewhat excited for this card on the entertainment standpoint. Not really that. I'm a little scared by the betting standpoint.
Yeah, I don't have a ton of bets. I have some. I got in very early on a lot of these lines because, like anticipation. These lines open pretty early. But yeah, man, I have some Lambo plays that I like. Hopefully they come through for us. I also have some Lambo plays that I don't really like, but they were just, the best value in my opinion for that specific fight. But before we go on to our card, I would always like to shout out our chat. First off, it is Mushroom. What is up, Mushroom? Thank you for joining us. Mike Z, Happy New Year, my friend. And let's crush 2023. Dumpy, what's up, brother? How you doing? Cashing Bangladesh, Mitten Kitten by day, and UFC round props by night from the GOATs. Thank you very much, Dumpy. I really appreciate it. Daz, as always, what is up, Daz? Thank you for being in here. Brady, what is up, man? Yes, new year, new Lambo. We need a new Lambo this year. And the GOAT, Tajik Bey, is in here. What is up, Tajik? Thank you for joining us, my friend. Landon, my buddy, thank you for being here. And Anthony, let's freaking get it, boys. But before I start off our show, I just want to let everybody know that I'm going to be doing some MMA content for Stochastic. I don't know if you guys saw my tweet, but Stochastic.com, great DFS company. Part of their company is Odd Shopper, which is a betting. It's a great betting tool that they use where you can find the best odds on the market. Great company, but yeah, I will be doing a Friday. It's going to be a recorded podcast every Friday of my best bet for the card, my favorite best bet, my best underdog, and my favorite prop for the card. So I'm going to give you 3 plays on that. And yeah, I'll tweet it out and stuff, but I'm excited for it. And I'm also going to be doing a show with Brady, DFS by the numbers. We're going to be rotating. I think I'm going to be doing it every 4 weeks or 6 weeks or something, but it's a best bet show and we're going to be tracking our plays. So it's going to be exciting. And I think I'm going to start off with it tomorrow to kick off the year with Brady. With that being said, we need to break down some fights and give off some Lambos. So we're going to start with the first fight of the night in the flyweight division. It is Jimmy the Brick Flick going up against Charles Inner G Johnson. And before we start this off, I want to give a shout out to Mr. Charles Johnson, my buddy. Good luck tomorrow. If you watch this, hopefully you get that finish. Hopefully you get that W. And most of all, hopefully you get out of that ring safe. With that being said, Timothy Troiano, what is your first Lambo play of 2023, my friend?
Yeah, and hopefully you finish him in round 2 or round 3, because that's the way to go, buddy. Let's do that for the culture. Round 2 is plus 450. Round 3 is plus 1,100. I like both of those. I just think that he's going to most likely stay safe. Flick is dangerous. There's no question, especially in round 1. If he gets the fight to the ground, or even if he just tries to jump, pull guard, he can be dangerous either way. So, yeah, I think he avoids getting subbed, which he's done his whole career, and eventually starts putting it on him in round 2 or round 3, and then Flick kind of quits. So, yeah, it's kind of the basic prediction a lot of people are on, but I think that's it's just going to be how aggressive he is, really. If he's not aggressive, then this could easily, it could go to decision, but this is a Lambo plays, man. We're not giving the plus hundreds. We're going out for the plus 450, plus 1100s.
All right. Well, it wouldn't be a Lambo show if we didn't kick it off with in 2023 by having the same fucking play on the first fight of the card. I've written it down here, guys. Look at this. It says Johnson round 2, round 3, plus 450, plus 1100. listen, Jimmy Flick might go for it early. Guy's been out of the ring for 3 years. He retired. He got divorced. He came back all of a sudden, and now he's fighting a guy in who I believe is a very very bad matchup for him in Charles Johnson. Like, Charles Johnson's faced really, really good grapplers. I mean, Horiuchi's a good grappler. Makayev, very, very good grappler. Then we're talking about Brandon Royval earlier in his career, very, good submission grappler. So it's not like he hasn't faced good submission grapplers. And to be honest, like a guy like Makayev, you know, crazy good wrestling, couldn't really hold Johnson down, didn't really threaten very much with submissions. I don't I don't know how, like, I don't even think Jimmy Flick's going to have success taking this fight to the ground. And like you mentioned, if he does, it's probably going to be early. And if not, this guy is shelling up on the cage. I think he's going to get pieced up. The other thing that Johnson said is he needs to put on more pressure. He needs to throw more volume. And I think here, I think he's going to get it. Round 2, round 3, plus 450, plus 1100. And like Brady said, hopefully he finishes in under 2.5 rounds. Yes, sir. I have a bet there as well. So, yeah, we're all over Johnson here, both me and you. And it seems like there's a lot of people on the under 2.5 and Johnson. And let's freaking go. Fight number 2. We will go into the featherweight division, and it is going to be Daniel, the determined Argueta versus Nick Slick Aguiar. And I can kick this one off. Aguiar, man, like, dude, this guy's competition, I'm going to say it, like, he's from the Midwest. So this guy fights in the Midwest. He fights in all these organizations that I'm pretty familiar with, like, Coliseum Combat. I believe that's from freaking Indiana, very close to where I'm at. He's fought in HFC, which is also an Indiana promotion. Lot of Chicago guys stuff. Fight Card Entertainment. That's also that's an Illinois Chicago card, production. So a lot of these guys are fighting as just really, really, really low level fighters, man. And I'm not saying Argueta's like a very high level fighter, but the guy he's fought, the Diego Silvas of the world, the Ricky Tercios, the Damon Jacksons, Marion Santos, all these guys are substantially better than who Nick Aguiar fought. And the other thing to top it off is Nick Aguiar on 4 days notice here, very, very short notice. I expect him to maybe survive it earlier because I don't think Argueta's really a big finisher early, even though he does have some first round finishes by submission. I just think it's going to happen again. Round 2, round 3, I'm going right back to the well. It's Argueta round 2, 470. Argueta round 3, plus 1100. And guys, I promise you, I'm not lying. Me and Tim have not talked whatsoever about any play. Am I lying, Tim? Your mic is on mute.
Not 1 minute. Yeah, not one.
You've never
word.
talked about any plays. And
I haven't, and I wasn't on Spaces with you on
nothing. I never even talked about this anyway. This Argueta fight. So
this is ironic because this is actually how we started getting like more connected off. Like at the beginning of our relationship was we'd always be in chats of other people's shows and shit, and we'd be like, "This is my prediction for the fight." And I'm like, "Fuck!" And then you'd say one first, and I'd say one first. And be like, "Oh, I totally agree with that. I totally agree with it." Like we see it definitely in similar.
Go ahead, give the breakdown of what
you know what it is. You know what it is. It's just more of a. I was talking with another person about this as well. Just like it's more of you just want to fade these guys that are low level guys, really shit competition, and then it's not that as much as it's. Also, there's 4 days notice. It's like, okay, it's going to be a grappling match, not just a boxing match, not standing, and it's going to be a lot of grappling, and the guy's on 4 days notice. So it's like that's just a situation that I'm looking at that I'm going to be like, okay, I'm going to be betting the under, or I'm going to be betting somebody to finish in round 2 or 3 because the person. I mean, it's a good plus EV bet just long term. Like you could pretty much look at that situation and say a lot of times this fight finishes after the halfway point. So I totally agree for that very reason. All
right. So again, fight number 2, same exact plays. Let's see if we could give you something different on fight number 3. It is in the flyweight division. It is Alan Bureau Oso Nascimento versus Carlos Hernandez. Tim, kick this one off.
I am not that big on Carlos Hernandez. He might be good. Honestly, I might be selling him way short. But the fight that scares the shit out of me is the Altamirano fight. Like Altamirano's shown in multiple fights. I've seen him more against different competition that we kind of can compare to other people. And Altamirano is like a guy that is not historically like a great wrestler, can be taken down himself, isn't always going to win in scrambles, but like always has kind of closer fights. And what he was doing to Hernandez and the positions that he got in Hernandez are like, man, if Nascimento gets in anywhere close to those positions, he's going to finish this fight. There's just no question in my mind. I also think Nascimento is like mammoth size for this weight class. So I think that matters. If you're putting Nascimento, I do not think like putting Nascimento in parlays and shit like that is a great way to go just historically at minus 300 and shit, because he's a guy that can be wrestled. He's also a guy that is not great if the fight is standing for long periods of time. And he does play a guard against better wrestlers and better jiu-jitsu players. So I think that against different fighters that are way more skilled than Hernandez, I would be like, oh, this is not a great line. I just think that the line's a little bit wide. I would put it more like 250, 220-ish or somewhere like that. But I would put him as a significant favorite. And I think he's going to be way better on the ground. And I think the fight will hit the ground at some point. So I'm going to go with Nascimento sub round 1, round 2 is plus 310 on FanDuel. And if you want to just do like the individual rounds, it would be sub 1 is plus 600, sub 2 is plus 850.
All right. Yeah, I mean, I agree with a lot of your points. Nascimento, very, very big for the division. There are some attributes I do like from Carlos Hernandez. Like he's got pretty good cardio. He shows pretty decent durability. He's got like good, like his get-up game is good. Not his takedown defense is okay because he always digs for underhooks, which I like. But he does get taken down. But it's kind of like from watching the tape, he's not easy to hold down. Like he usually gets up. But there's levels to this stuff, right, guys? Like Altamirano's taking him down. Okay, yeah, he's so, decent or below decent grappler, right? Then you have, Daniel Barra is taking him down a bunch. He's a good grappler. I'm not going to call him bad. But then you get, there's levels. You're talking about Alan Nascimento, who's levels above those guys when it comes to the submission grappling, when it comes to the ground game. And that's where I think Hernandez is going to have issues. I think Nascimento is going to be the stronger guy here. Nascimento really impressed me in the Hadley fight because as opposed to what other people think, I think highly of Hadley, actually. I think the guy is super strong. He's got good cardio. He's got good boxing, goes to the body real well, has a good submission game. I mean, we saw what the guy did to, Candelario, to a guy that, Tatsuro Taira couldn't do what he did to Candelario, correct? So I think a lot highly of Hadley. So that's why I think that Nascimento win was really good. He was just one step ahead of Hadley almost all the time. And the other thing is, you mentioned something like Nascimento can get wrestled, but honestly, I think he reverses Hernandez very, very easily if it gets on the ground. Like this guy was reversing Ulanbekov, Hadley, guys that are much better, like I said, on the ground than this guy Hernandez. And Hernandez on the feet, like, yeah, he's got probably better boxing, but he eats a lot of kicks. And Nascimento loves to kick. And, he was eating a ton of kicks from Altamirano. Like his body kicks were literally reddening up his body. So at the end of the day, I like Nascimento here. I can't put my finger on what round it's going to happen, but I do like the submission prop in general. Like I don't want to give submission 1, 2, 3 because I honestly think it can happen in any round, and it's not the Lambo play, but it's the plus 225er. That's where I'm going to go with this fight. I'm going to give you Nascimento by submission at plus 225. I think that comes to fruition at some point in this fight. Carlos Hernandez makes some mistakes on the ground. He gave up his back against Barras, I believe. And if he gives up his back here, it's going to be a very, very, very long day for him. So
there's a couple people in the chat that have some interesting predictions. There's Mushroom has Hernandez by split, and Landon had Nascimento by TKO. I just kind of wanted to address those. Like, there's a few fighters this week. There's a few fights where I'm going to predict something, but then I would say, like, I think my pick would be this. But if you're on the other side, Hernandez by split is a great play because that's definitely his path. Like, if he's winning, it's probably a greasy bunch of transitions on the ground that's tough to decide who's winning. So I agree with that if you're on his side. I don't think that's what happens, but I do like the number. The KO for Nascimento, I'm not really at all on it plus 1100. I would need like plus 1500 or probably something like that, because he doesn't, anytime he gets into positions where he is sub hunting like almost every single time. So even if he hits you, he's doing it so that you move your hand so that you can sub you. So it's not really something that I think would happen.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to play Hernandez, I do think, I'm not saying don't play the money line if you have a strong feeling on him, but I think split decisions. I don't think he's blowing away Nascimento. This guy couldn't blow away Altamirano, who I think very low of. So he's not blowing away Nascimento, and if he wins, I do think it's kind of like a greasy split. I just think Nascimento should roll here. Honestly, this is a huge step down for him from Hadley, because I think highly of Hadley. Moving on, fight number 4. It is in the bantamweight division. It is Mateus Bocao Mendonca versus Javid, the Snow Leopard Basharat. And I can kick this one off. Earlier this week, I was like, Basharat, he should win pretty easily here. He's got a very good striking game. He knows how to manage distance. He got great takedown defense. He can take you down. He's got good guillotines, good front chokes. He's just got a very good overall game, right? His cardio is pretty good. His game is just good in general. But the more I watch this Mendonca guy, the more I see, like, this guy is just like a freaking dog, man. Like, even at weigh-ins, at face-offs, like, this guy is a typical shoot box guy for, like, similar to a Charles Oliveira. I'm not saying in skill, but I'm saying, like, in toughness. Like, dude is just tough. He looks tough. Like, watching his tape, the guy has very good cardio. He's got wrestling. Like, he's got good power. So I kind of have a feeling now that this fight's going to be a little closer than what I originally thought it was. And the other point is, like, watching Basharat, he kind of gives away moments at times in fights. Like, he lost the first round to Gravely, where he got taken down a couple of times. He's not very high volume, so, he's looking to pick his shots. So that's why I think I'm going to go with split decision on either side. Do not, before I go on, do not take the fight ends in split here, because the odds are off. The odds, you get better odds if you play both guys by split. So Basharat is plus 800. Mendonca is plus 2,200. And I think fight ends in split is like plus 600 or 650, if I'm not mistaken. It should be a little bit higher than that when those, I did the math, I forgot it, but it's off.
It's way off.
So I'm going to go with the split on both sides. I think this fight might be closer than what this line indicates, to be honest. What do you have here, Tim?
We have some dissension on this one. I actually think that there's a significant gap in talent and level between these guys. I've been super impressed with Javid every fight. He's just gotten better and better and shown that he's more well-rounded than I thought he was in the first place, when I thought he was extremely well-rounded. Him offensively wrestling Gravely is like, that was the final kind of nail in the coffin for me, where I say I will bet this guy a lot against a lot of fighters. To me, I think he breaks him over time, especially if he takes him down, especially if the fight is not standing. I feel like the finishing instincts on Javid are more aggressive on the ground than they are standing. And I feel like he if he gets on the ground with guys, he's there to fuck him up and he's there to sub him. He's there to finish him. And if he's standing, he's more processed and he's more defensive. And so I think if he gets the fight to the ground, I think he breaks him over time. I think if the fight stays standing, I think I could easily see a decision here. So I'm banking on he's going to take him down, or maybe he, I don't know. They get in a clinch and he just gets into a position where he can get a takedown. So I'll go round. I'm doing a theme. There's a theme in my bets this week. Round 2, round 3 for Java. Just he breaks him over time, and round 2 is plus 550. Round 3 is plus 1200.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I like Basharat to win this fight. I'm like I said, I don't think technically and skill wise, like Basharat is much better than this guy. The thing is, I see like this dog in this guy. He's tough. He's durable. He throws a lot of volume. He has good cardio. That's why I see like, and the other thing with Basharat that I don't like is I don't see a lot of like finishing instinct when he has guys hurt. Like he had both guys, Trevin Jones and Gravely, pretty hurt, and they were both tired. And like he doesn't go for the kill, it seems like. He's like still picking his shots. And I guess it's good in a sense that he's not putting himself in danger, even when he's getting guys hurt. But he doesn't show a lot of finishing instincts for me in the UFC so far. So with that being said, I do agree. I do think Basharat wins this fight. I just see a lot of dog in Mendonca. And Luke is in the house. What's up, Luke? Basharat better everywhere. I agree. Mendonca has a puncher's chance. I also think he's going to, I think he's going to have probably the better moments. Like he seems to explode a lot in fights. So it could sway some judges. That's why I kind of feel like maybe this fight plays a lot closer than what I originally thought. Because I originally thought Basharat was just going to wash him out of there. But I don't know, man. Upon rewatch of some of his fights, I don't know if he's just going to watch him. This guy kind of has a little dog in him. So, yeah, we'll move on. Fight number 5 in the lightweight division. It is Matthias Rebecki versus Nick Fiore. Tim, what do you got?
Okay, this is my only. This will be my pick, and what I'm actually going to be. I'm going to be betting probably, each round. His inside the distance prop is like minus 290. But you can kind of figure a way to bet this fight. I do think that Rebecki finishes him in round 1 at a pretty high clip, like more than 50-50. So, like my Lambo play, my 1972 Saab 900 play it's used. It's got about 80,000 miles on it. It's plus 105 is Rebecki to win in round 1. And I think you can put a decent sized bet on that. If you're saying you're splitting up a unit, I think you could put like a half a unit on that or 0.75 units on that. And then you could go like 0.10 or 0.15 on like the round 2 at plus 460 or 0.25 at that. I do not think this round hits round 3 at all. I think he either kills him in round 1 or he kills him in round 2. So you can pretty much hedge your bet a little bit, but I would go pretty hard. I'm going to go pretty hard, I think, on Rebecki in round 1. I do think he gets it done in either round 1 or round 2.
All right, Rebecki, round 1, round 2. Before I give my play, I do have a play on Rebecki by KO at plus 195. He should pretty much roll through this guy for the most part. However, for my Lambo play, and I know people are probably going to grill me for this, but I'm going to take a stab with Fiore submission at plus 1,300, to be honest. I watched some of this guy's tape. I looked at his Instagram. He does a lot of grappling. This guy competes a lot in grappling. Finished some pretty good guys via grappling. Like, Andre Borges, a guy that his record's not shiny. It's 9-5, but his losses are to pretty good fighters. And, in all those fights, this guy is like, he's there, he's fighting still, and Fiore goes out and runs through this guy, finishes him in the first. Also, when you look at like Fiore, like in the amateurs, like he's finished decent guys like Alan Zabian, Nathan Grebe. I know they're not the best, but this guy's running through these guys in one round and subbing them. And I know like Rebecca's probably going to have a big strength advantage here. He's a very strong guy. He's very heavy on top. He has really, really nasty ground and pound. The thing that I like is Rebecca's going to go to the wrestling. He's going to take this guy down. And I think Fiore might have opportunities to get a submission. And the line is just plus 1,300. I mean, I cannot look away because this guy just has decent submissions and he has a ton of them between amateurs and pros. And he's not fighting all bums. That's the thing. Like if these guys were all bums, I wouldn't even think about it. But Andre Borges, honestly, is not a bum. Ali Zabian is not really a bum. Nathan Garib is not really a bum, and he's just subbing all these guys in one round. So, or 2 rounds, whatever it was. But I'm going to take my shot with this guy. This guy fought at 170. He's a big dude. Did you see him at face-offs? Like, he's a pretty big guy. He's not a small guy for 55. Whatever it may be, I'm going to take a shot at plus 1,300. Like I said, I have Rebecca plus 195 by KO. I don't think you can really go wrong with a submission here. When you look at Rebecca, he's faced decent competition, but most of the guys he's faced, to be honest, they're not really submission grapplers. I think, if I'm not mistaken, and maybe somebody can correct me, but Fiore might be the best grappler he's faced as far as submission is concerned. So it is what it is. I'm going to go against a little bit of what everybody's thinking here. I do think at the end of the day, Rebecca's going to win. I just think Fiore might have some chances with submission.
And to add on what you're saying, like if he does win, it's most likely round 2, round 3 sub. I do not think he's having much success in round 1. So you're going to get like plus 2,900 if you did it on FanDuel, if you connected both the rounds on that. So you're more than doubling that. That's awesome. That's hilarious. That's so great. I don't mind that if you're taking it, if you're using that. Yep.
Antonio's asking you if you like the under 1.5 at minus 158.
Yes.
Antonio, there's your answer. Yes, he does. But yeah, we will move on. Fight number 6. It is in the middleweight division. It is Abdul Judo Thunder Razak Al Hassan. Judo Thunder? Okay. Versus Claudio Ribeiro. I will kick this one off. I know there's a lot of like people that that I respect that like Al Hassan here. And I can understand it. Like Ribeiro's fought pretty much low-level opposition. Seems like he's KO or bust for the most part. And Al Hassan showed, better cardios last time out against Buckley, albeit he lost. I think he won. You could make a case for him winning that fight. But I like Ribeiro, man. I like this guy's cardio, to be honest. Like I think he has better cardio than Al Hassan. I'm gonna say it right now. I think his cardio is better. He carries his power very late in fights. And with that being said, maybe early they both respect each other. They might not like come slugging it out early. But give me Ribeiro, round 2 KO, plus 1,100. The Brazilian's gonna be dancing.
Wow, that's interesting. I am gonna give my Skip Bayless hot take of the week here. So, I think that there's a very the pick is I think that somebody's gonna die early in this fight. I think most likely probably the first 7 minutes of the fight, probably round 1. So that would be my pick, but that's not what I also, there's a part of me that looks at the line though and says the fight doesn't go as like minus $1 million, right? And I like legitimately last year, think back to last year of how many fights the fight doesn't go was over minus 500, that everybody was like, okay, you can't play this, that the fight goes, right? And it's all the, I mean, how, and then the situations too, with Al Hassan would be one of the guys. Like, he would be one of the guys where he's like, oh, he's always going to be KO1. He's never, oh, he's going to get knocked out if he doesn't. He's a gas bag. It's like, he's been finished one time. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that, other than that, one time. He's been finished one time. Like, he goes to decision. He's lost 4 decisions. But I think that the fight goes at plus 550 is like, why not? Like, it's just, if the fight gets past the first round, like you're saying, and it's a stare fest, or maybe they just don't throw very much and they're just not connecting perfectly, this fight could go. These guys, if round 2, round 3, then they might not be throwing as hard as they normally do. And I don't know. I just keep thinking, the fight goes. And then if the fight goes, you're getting 10-1 on points and 12-1 on points on either guy. So either one of those is fine by me. I'll take the fight goes at plus 550, even though I think somebody probably does die early. I think the lines are still just a little off.
Yeah, I mean, I can't say I agree. I think one of these guys is gonna die. Honestly, I feel like it's like, just watching, Riberio's taken some nice shots in his fights that I've seen. Obviously, I don't know what kind of punchers those guys are, but seems to be taking shots pretty well.
That's the other point, right? They're both dirt. What if I don't know about Ribeiro, but I know about Al Hassan from a durability standpoint. I think he's durable, and he's fought some pretty powerful dudes. Like, I don't know about Ribeiro, but let's say that he's very durable. Well, both dudes are very durable. Both dudes respect the other guy's power. Like, one guy has an absolute humongous hole in his game that he can be clinched and he can be taken down. The other guy doesn't do it, but he could actually show it. If Al Hassan takes him down or clinches him in the first round, underbettors are going to be shitting their pants. Like, they're going to be like, oh my God, I have half a round to get this fucking fight done, because he could hold him down and he could be just holding position and or just clinch him for a long time, because that's happened before in this dude's fight. So, like, I'm not saying, like I said, I think the pick would be that I think somebody dies, but I do think that plus 550 and goes, or if you want to maybe even do like fight starts round 2 or fight starts round 3 in this fight, I don't mind those at this stage. It's so juiced the other way.
Yeah, I mean, if you're gonna play it, I guess. I honestly think this Ribeiro guy has like huge power. I mean, I don't know if you saw him like shaking hands. Like, dude, he has mitts for fucking hands.
Why is he like 4 pounds light every
fight? He's in shape, man. I think I read something about him that this guy's always training, supposedly. How true it is, nobody knows. He looks like he's excited. Like, all his fights, like he likes to fight, legit. Like, and this guy, like, he is absolutely throwing haymakers for like however long the fight's lasting, and he has cardio. I'm telling you guys, like, he fought that 40-year-old guy. Everybody says, oh, Achilles Albuquerque, 40 years old, blah, blah, blah. But this guy's fought really good guys. And he hasn't, I think he got knocked out, but like earlier in his career. But he's fought like Alan Patrick, Warley Alves. Like, this guy's not fighting like nobody's. And he knocked this dude down literally 5 or 6 times in that fight. This Albuquerque guy. So, I don't know. People are saying maybe Al Hassan grapples. I honestly believe if Al Hassan grapples early, he's going to fucking gas out bad. Bad. He's going to be toast by the 7.5 minute mark, and he's going to get knocked out. So, I don't think he's going to grapple. It's not what he's going to do. He's a kickboxer. He's a Muay Thai guy. I think they're going to stand on the feet, and one of them is going to die. And, I think it might be Al Hassan, and hopefully it is in round 2. But this guy's been taking some money, actually. He's moved to like minus 118 now. So it is what it is. We got a little bit of a differing thing there, but we'll move on. Fight number 7 is in a bantamweight division. It is Umar Nurmagomedov versus Hani Barcelos. Tim, what do you got?
So I'm going to do one for each fighter, because there's two beauty. Like, I think there's one that's just a really insane one that I was just like, okay, this is his path if he wins. And this is this other guy's path. If he wins, that's a Lambo play, I should say. The one is, I mean, you could just play Rowney by winning the fight, and it's money line, and that's a perfectly good Lambo. Makes sense, obviously, but the way that I think he wins in this fight, if Barcelos is winning this fight, it is he has to keep standing, and then he's just barely out volumes him and wins just a striking fight pretty close. So the split decision prop on Barcelos is absolutely insane. It was insane last I saw it. Last I saw it was 35-1. I don't know if it's still there. I'm going to check, but yeah, I think that's a really great path for him. I think it's close decision, steals it. But I think Umar, a lot of people are discounting like his striking. I don't think that his hands are that great, but his kicks are fucking awesome. And I wouldn't be shocked if he caught if he caught him with a head kick, or if he finished him with striking, or if he finished him getting him down on the ground either. So a lot of people are on the points at -200 and putting that shit in parlays. Not for me. I think if the fight is standing, I think Barcelos is way more live than the line says. The question is, can he stay standing, and how long can he? I don't know, to be honest. I'm not going to pretend like I do. So we'll see. But I'm going to go Umar round 2, round 3, and then Rowney by split would be the 2 picks that I would do. I think it's just he eventually might break him either with kicks, or he might break him with just actually taking his back and rear naked choke. So how about you?
All right. Tim is on Umar's side. Like, first off, the line doesn't make sense in the sense that how could a -1,000, a -950, right, be -200 by decision? Like, normally a -1,000, -950, right, is like plus money by decision, and is inside the distance props are usually the ones that are juiced, right? For this fight, it's like opposite, right? Because normally a guy that's -950, -1,000 covers by finishing fights, right? You're usually going to cover that price by finishing a fight. If a fight's going 15 minutes, normally, right, you're not probably covering 950 or 1,000, because the other guy might have some moments. Now, there is occasions where you just ragdoll a guy, for 15 minutes, he's on the ground, but you don't finish him, fine. But it's rare. It doesn't always happen. And so with that being said, it's like a weird line to have a guy -1,000, but -200 by decision. Like, and it is inside the distance props are nice plus money. Like, they're big plus money. But with that being said, like, I'm not going to play it, but I just think it's like, you have to, if you want to play a Lambo play here, it's Barcelos plus 650. Like, I'm just close your eyes like this, and actually with one hand, and then click the bet button with the other hand, because I don't think he's going to win the fight, but this line is not right. That's all I'm going to say. It's not right. I have a hard time like figuring out how he can win, how he manages to get inside the pocket, how he manages to, land some big punches on Nurmagomedov. It's hard. He's a lot older. Nurmagomedov 9 years younger. Everything favors Nurmagomedov in this fight. And that's kind of where I have an issue. Like, how am I going to bet? Even though it is value, it's hard for me to find a way how he wins this fight. So I'm staying away. But if you're going to bet anything, man, like, honestly, like Tim said, maybe those inside the distance props, or just Hani money line plus 650. Moving on. Fight number 8. It is in the bantamweight division. It is Caitlin Fenomeno Vieira versus Raquel Rocky Pennington. And I will kick this one off.
There's no way we're not on the same one on this one. I'll predict that.
We might not be.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm on Vieira by submission here.
Ooh, not. I like it.
I know Rocky Pennington's good on the ground. I just think, like, I feel like Vieira is the stronger girl here. And, she's a black belt. Like, she's good on the ground. I know she doesn't implement it a lot. But I think if she can get this fight to the ground, I honestly think she can get a submission here. She's a big chick. She's very good on the ground. It's plus 900. Might be worth like a little sprinkle. I didn't like much on this, honestly, on this fight. Like, yeah, split decision is what, 350. I'm not very high on it, but I can see it. So I'll leave that to you, Tim. What do you like here, sir?
I really actually I like the split a lot, but I love the fact that you said sub, because I think that people are underestimating the finishing ability of more Vieira than Pennington in this fight. The books are clearly doing that with the under 2.5 and over 2.5 line and the fight goes lines. Again, don't get me wrong. Like, I don't think that if you look at the numbers and then you just watch Vieira fight, like I was talking with Liam about this last night on his pod, like you watch him fight, you'll watch her fight and you'll be screaming at the TV and her corner will be screaming at her, fucking finish them. Like, go for it. Like, what are you doing? And Vieira's the problem isn't that she's not in great positions. She's always in really good positions. She just doesn't put her foot on the gas. And this is like you're saying, if she puts her foot on the gas and she tries to make a better moment and she's more confident with these situations, as well as, maybe the last couple fights, she's coming off of fucking getting knocked out by Aldana. Maybe she played it a little bit more safely. So I don't know, but I just feel like that's a great bet. I'm probably going to be betting that. I do like this sub, and I feel that is more live than people are making it. And I think the Kat Zingano sub on Rocky is a big. I'm not saying like it's a different Rocky in a different era, obviously, but Zingano's compared to Vieira in the same situation, it's similar style. Like, you're looking, once she gets her down on the ground, it's very much what you're saying. So plus, anytime you get plus over 500, plus 600 on a fighter that wants to get the fight to the ground and has her BJJ abilities as well as strength, I'm like, that's in women's MMA. That's fucking. I'm gonna be betting that. So I really like that. But I can't go here without not saying split. Man, I can't. It's just this is my way to go. The other way that I see this fight going is clinch fuck completely from both fighters, trying like hell to get on the clinch and who's going to be winning in that position. Probably Vieira trying to get her judo going. But if it's standing and they're at range, Vieira does fuck all standing a lot of times and really doesn't do very much. And I think it could be a little bit of volume versus big shot, taking a 2 or 3, smaller shots from Pennington to then hit one really huge one. So both of these fighters fight very close. Pennington rarely wins 30-27s in her fights that are decisions. She's a lot of time going 29-28 with a lot of fighters. So, yeah, I think I'll take a shot on the split decision plus 350, but I absolutely love and actually like more yours at plus 900.
Yeah, I mean, I could see the split decision as well. I just kind of feel like, they have this line sitting there because, Vieira doesn't have a lot of subs. Pennington has only been subbed once, and it's years ago. So they kind of put that like big prop out there. And the thing is, I do think Vieira is the bigger girl, the stronger girl. And if she can get it to the ground, she might have some opportunities.
Yeah, she's got a third of her finishes are subs.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Moving on. It is fight number 9. It is Puna Soriano versus Roman Kopilov. Tim, what do you have?
God, I'm not confident on this fight. I'm not confident on this fight at all. The Punahele sub line seems like maybe worth a shot, plus 900, plus 1,000, but it's one of those where I think it's like kind of really juicy line that you're going to go after, and it might not happen. It just depends on if he grapples a lot. That's a big unknown. He looks like he's in way better shape. And I don't know if that's going to allow him to wrestle more or not, because I think that's a reason why he hasn't wrestled as much in the past. So I'm kind of banking on that. It's more narrative based. I think there's a shot that he could KO him, obviously, because that's all he really tries to do is hit huge lefts. So huge straight lefts and sets it up with really nothing other than a big left. Couple of defensively grappling. It's kind of both good and bad. His takedown defense statistically has been really, really good. But once he hits the ground with, really low level, the Roberson fight is obviously the biggest red flag in the world. Just how he reacted in that fight. He did do significantly better. Who was his next fight? I forgot who his next fight was against, a grappler. The guy he got overconfident. He kept punching him straight in the face.
Duraev. He's a gasser.
Yeah, I had Duraev by sub in that fight too. And it was the same thing. Like I was just thinking it's an auto sub. So I don't know if it's like an auto sub in this situation, but I do feel like Puna's sub seems to be, give it a shot. He does have 2 subs in his career and professionally, and why not take a stab at that?
That's funny because that's exactly the play I have. I have Puna Soriano by submission plus 950. He's the better wrestler, and if he decides to wrestle, he doesn't wrestle much. He wrestled early in his UFC fights, but of late he's just not wrestling much, right? And I think part of that is the fact that he's facing guys that are like better wrestlers or they're strong, guys that, are not easy to take down or they've used their less. What is it?
Better jiu-jitsu with Brennan.
Better jiu-jitsu, stuff like that. So that's, I think, why he hasn't used it of late. So I think here he's definitely the better wrestler. I think he can wrestle Kopylov here. And, like you said, I know Roberson, he goes for subs. But Soriano has a couple of rear naked chokes. I don't see why, he can't maybe choke this guy out, maybe round 2, round 3. But yeah, Soriano submission plus 950. Not much I like, honestly, on this specific fight, to be honest. It's not something that, I have a big take on. Moving on, it's fight number 10, the co-main event in the featherweight division. It is Dan 50K Ige versus Damon Action Jackson. And I can kick this one off. I like Ige by KO. It's plus 325 right now on Caesars. I played it at plus 350 or 340 on Caesars. If you have Caesars, I think that's a good line. It's the best. I think it's the best line out there currently at plus 325. Yeah, it is. So it's still sitting there. You can get it on Caesars if you have it. I just think Jackson is very, very bad defensively on the feet. I think he can get hit. I think Ige has really good power, even though it doesn't show it in his knockouts. But I think he can get a knockout here against Jackson. And I also think, I do believe Jackson might be able to get him down. I don't know if he can hold him down. So with that being said, give me Ige by KO plus 325. What do you have here, Tim?
Yeah, I actually like the Ige KO as well. And I tend to think, I don't want to get super greasy with it, but yeah, the plus 300 is enough. But I don't mind KO too as well. If you I think there could be a little bit more, he's not just trying to race into the pocket against Damon and give him a chance to just instantly grapple him. And he might do that early. And as well that Damon in the first round might be typical Damon and actually have some success. So I do think at some point Ige gets him out. So my Lambo play for sure would be just the KO. It's the safest way to go. But if you want to get super greasy, you can do one of the rounds. I like the round 2 at plus 1,000. Round 3 isn't bad either at 17-1.
All right, round 2, round 3. If you want to get a little greasy, like you said, and Mushroom agrees with you, round 2, round 3. KO on Dan 50K Ige. Before we move on to the main event of the night, I want to thank all 58 of you currently in chat. Thank you very, very much. Chat is always lively with you guys. Gerardo, what's up, my friend? Thank you for popping in here. Marcus Erickson's in the house. What's up, my buddy? And everybody else, thank you very, very much for being in here with us on a Friday night when there's fights going on. And with that being said, we will move on to the main event of the night. It is in the light heavyweight division. It is Sean Strickland going up against Nazardine, the Russian sniper Imavov. Tim, kick off the main event and give us a Lambo play here.
So, boy, this is a really interesting fight because of just Sean Strickland's situation. I kind of don't know if you were, what you think on this situation, like what your play is yet. But I'll ask you that kind of actually. You know what I'll do? I'll defer to you on this because I want to hear what you say on this because I really want to hear your perspective first.
So, there's a 10-pound weight difference at weigh-ins. I don't know if you know that.
Yep.
Whatever reason, this guy weighed in at 194 and Sean was at 204. Sean looks a little out of shape, to be honest. This guy looks like he's in shape. Obviously, he's been training and he's been training for a fight, right? The other thing that kind of like is weird, like there's a 10-pound difference, but at face-offs, like Imavov looks substantially bigger than this dude. And I'm not talking about just height, just in size, like pure size. He looks much bigger than Strickland. The one thing, how I based my Lambo play here is the 5-round aspect, right? Strickland's been there. He's done that. He's shown good cardio. Even though this is on short notice, I think he doesn't really have a problem going 5 rounds. And last fight, he got landed on a bunch, and he was still fine. 5 rounds, he was there till the end against a very, very big, powerful striker. But on the opposite side, like, what do we see from Imavov? Like, he's been on the offensive end of some of these fights, specifically the Buckley fight where he just absolutely beat up Buckley from pillar to post for 2 rounds. And then when it looked like Buckley was like probably going to get stopped in the third, guess what? Imavov was dead tired in the third. He was getting landed on. And like that kind of doesn't make sense to me. But then when I look at the Haas fight, right? Another fight, like he's tired in the third. He's gassed out. Yes, there was grappling, but he was pretty gassed in the third. And it's starting to be like kind of a theme with this guy, right? Like this guy getting tired all the time later in fights. I do think so. And then now it's a 5-round fight. It's a main event fight. Originally, this wasn't the main event, so he wasn't preparing for 5 rounds, right? He was preparing for 3, right? Wasn't it?
No.
Originally, I thought it was Jeff Neal against Rachmanov for the main event here, wasn't it?
I thought I'm not sure about that, to be honest.
Maybe I'm mistaken, but maybe it was Gastelum against Imavov.
Yeah,
I don't remember. Okay, maybe he is preparing 5 rounds, but at the end of the day, like I do think his cardio is not checking out for me in 3-round fights. How is it going to check out in 5-round fights against the guy in Strickland that's probably going to keep coming forward? It's going to throw a lot of volume. I think the best prop here, and I'm not in love with anything, I think it's Strickland 345. It's plus 1,000 on FanDuel. I think that's a pretty good prop to play. And I mean 345. I think KO. It's specifically. It's plus 1,000. I just think he has an advantage later in this fight, and I think it's might be pretty substantial late, to be honest. So, if you're gonna play another play, like I don't mind split decision here. Early rounds for Imavov, later rounds for Strickland, and Strickland tends to fight close anyways. So yeah, I mean that's my take on this fight. I have a bet on Strickland at plus 130. Not very happy with it at this point based on like face-offs and stuff, but I'm gonna probably keep it. What do you like, Tim?
That basically was it. Like I was going to ask you, money line wise, if that changed, your perspective at all with the camp and with having fought Cannonier. Because to me, if this is a full camp not fighting Cannonier in the last 4 weeks, I'm max betting this money line. Like for the exact reasons that you're saying, like cardio 5 rounds. We haven't seen Imavov do this. And I wouldn't be mad about losing the Max. I'd be like, fuck, like we've seen what Sean can do in this situation, and we've seen what Imavov has done in round 3 against multiple fighters. So I tend to agree with everything that you're saying there. The one issue this fight is it's possible that he has better cardio than Sean Strickland. You know, I'm not saying that I think it's going to happen, but it's definitely possible because Sean looks like shit, man. He looks like he just fought 4 weeks ago. He looks like he just fought a fucking total killer, hit him over 100 times and kicked the living shit out of his leg. And he looks like he's been fishing. So like that to me is as well as the other side of the spectrum with Sean is we all know that he spars more than anybody else in the UFC. So like this dude's going to most likely be okay, most likely be able to do his thing, even if you did get him off of a boat and said, hey, let's fight tomorrow, you know? So I kind of lean with you on both of your bets. I kind of think that would be the way that I would play both of them. I lean more split because I just think that like it's been a passion of mine of losing money on late round props on Sean Strickland, just because he's just a bastard, man. He won't put his foot on the gas, or he'll yell at you and try to pretend like he will, and then he still won't knock you out. So like I've lost a good fair share of money on Sean Strickland's late round props and predicted him on this very show. So yeah, I think the split decision on this one is the play. Plus 650 is really, really solid in my opinion for this kind of fight. Both guys could be just checking each other out. It doesn't have to be neither one grapples at all. And the first 2 rounds are gone and everybody's like, what? This is, oh my God, nothing happened. And you're like, yep, those guys are saving themselves to do something. And then we watch 3, 4, 5. I'm like, nothing happened this fight. This was just a sparring match. So I think that's a good way to go. Plus 650 ends by split. Really good line on it as well. We want to get the Lambo.
Yeah. I mean, I thought I was unmuted, but yeah, I mean, what am I gonna say against what you're saying? Like it's like he looked like shit, to be honest. Like I don't know. I don't want to take too much into weigh-ins because I don't want it to change my mind too much, but it's short notice and I don't know, dude. Like this guy, I have no idea what he's. And sparring, sparring is good, but it's also bad if you do it too much. I'm telling you right now, like it fucks you up. It fucks you up.
He was wearing the glasses
too. You fight like that. You fight like a person that's sparring when you do it too much, and that's known in boxing. Like guys that spar a lot in boxing go into their boxing fights and act like it's a sparring match when it isn't. You know, and that's the problem. So yeah, I could see it.
Did he have an eye issue that was why he was wearing the sunglasses?
I don't know. I don't know.
And it's just didn't he have like a biking accident, something like that in the last 4 weeks?
I'm not sure.
I've heard both of those things. I don't know if maybe if somebody in the chat can make them some validity to that or not. But I've heard both of those things on people's podcasts this week.
Yeah, I mean it's possible. Who knows with fucking Sean Strickland? Anything could fucking happen with this guy. You know, he's a nutso. So nobody knows what he's doing. Huh?
Antonio Esparza says he said he got a physical and got his eyes dilated. Okay. So nothing bad.
All right. So then there was nothing. Landon is all over it. My buddy Landon. Yeah. So Antonio said the same thing. Landon said the same thing. So yeah. With that being said, we have to give our patented Lambo parlays. And I will kick it off to Tim first.
All right. Go to FanDuel on this one. Go Charles KO23, Alan Nascimento sub, and Dan Ige KO. And it is 54-1.
You know what's sick? It's sick that I have the same exact one, dude.
No, you don't.
Yeah, I have Nascimento sub, Johnson 2-3, Ige KO. Same exact one. So with that being said, I have to add one now. I can't just leave it at that. What's Argueta 2-3? KO.
2-3 KO.
Yeah, that's what sucks. I don't want to pick KO because
That's the thing with him. Yeah, I didn't want to do that either. It's like pretty much.
All right. I got another one. Claudio Ribeiro. What's his 1-2 KO? Let's see. Is there a 1-2 KO? Add that one because I think he's gonna knock out.
Just add KO just in case. Because if you get all three.
All right, guys. He changed my mind. But KO is what? Plus 120. Okay, add KO.
That still is gonna make it huge. Yeah.
Add KO to the same one. That's crazy. This is the first time ever we've had the same exact fucking Lambo parlay. It's nuts. You know what's funny? It's because all three of those we had the same Lambos, right? Nascimento submission, Johnson KO 2-3, and Ige KO. So
those I think are the most. I think those are the most confident plays that we've got in the game today, and you get 54-1, right?
Yep. So Marcus says say it again. So it's Nascimento by submission, Johnson KO 2-3. You can only do these on FanDuel, by the way. Ige KO and Ribeiro by KO. What was it, Tim? What was the final odds? I didn't even put it all in. 70-1, 80-1.
Hold on, I got to add Ribeiro. 1 second. It's 122-1.
122-1. There you
go. Yeah, almost 123-1.
Freaking go. What? How good would it be if we just slammed our Lambo parlays on the first fucking card of the year? That would be spectacular.
That'd be glorious.
Butka money line. Let's go. Good start. 2 LFA. Good start. 2-1 championship. The plus 200 came through. Good start all around, and hopefully a good start for our Lambo plays tomorrow on this UFC card. So yeah, guys, thank you very, very much for being here with us on a Friday night. Timothy, again, thank you as usual as my co-host. What do you have going on? Let the people know where they can find you and what other things you have going. I know you were on Liam's. I saw some kind of tweet. You were on Liam's show or something today.
Late last night, we did a pod with him.
Oh, it was last night. I thought I saw the tweet today. It was weird. Okay.
Yeah, no, he did it. Yeah, he said we did it in the morning because we were like, it was really, really crazy late. So, yeah, we did that last night. You can check that out on Liam's Picks Fights. This is tomorrow where Sean and I are doing these spaces on Twitter, 1 p.m. Central Standard Time. So we usually do that as well. Great time. We usually break down all the fights, not from necessarily a Lambo perspective, more just a full breakdown of the fights. And then we have a bunch of sharp guys come in at the end and give their perspective and their best bets.
What is what? No answer to what? Did he ask something?
I didn't see it.
I don't know what you're asking, Mushroom. Can you specify? No answer to what? I really wish you would. Wait, what is this? Thanks for the parlays. I really wish you would answer my question. What question, Mushroom? I don't see it. Oh, I see it. Never mind. Narco and Tim, I would be honored to hear your honest opinion on my YouTube debut with Lou. I honestly didn't watch it. I'm so sorry. I did not watch it, Mushroom. I've been really busy with my son, jiu-jitsu. He's getting ready for a competition. Always on the freaking run. Tim, did you watch it at all?
Yeah, dude, you're a legend, man. I was really happy to see you pop your cherry. It was fucking good shit. So yeah, good to get a name, good to get a face with the name, and that's really, really happy to see you do that.
There you go, Mushroom. I'm sorry, I didn't watch it. I don't want. I'm sure you did well. As long as you had food in front of you, you did well. If you didn't have food in front of you, you fucked it all up.
He had he had the double mushroom sign behind him.
No. He's got to have an actual fucking meal in front of him with a vape. With that fucking
that's true. I was very disappointed that I didn't have him pulling a fucking ribs or something like that.
That's not the real Mushroom. I'm disappointed in you already. You fucked it up, Mushroom. You have to have food there. That's your thing. A whole fucking shitload of food. But anyways, thank you very much, everybody. Please do me one last favor. Please like, please subscribe, and please just like retweet, like my stuff if you can. I'm just trying to grow my followers, all that stuff. It's going to help me. It's also going to help me with, moving on with Stochastic and stuff like that. And guys, I try to do as much as I can and give you guys as much as I can. And all I ask for is please just the like, the retweets, subscribe. That is it. I know all of you probably already subscribed, but thank you very much. Still 50 of you in here. Go enjoy the rest of the LFA card. Go enjoy the rest of the One Championship card. And let's cash those tickets